soon you could see cuts to the federal workplace, and if there's a specific agency that will experience the most cuts or be focused?
Unfortunately, because the Democrats shut down the government, the president has directed his cabinet, and the Office of Management and Budget is working with agencies across the board to identify where cuts can be made, and we believe that layoffs are imminent. They are, unfortunately, a consequence of this government shutdown. Good afternoon, everyone.
Why does the president want to fire some workers and not just furlough them? Why is this shutdown any different?
Well, first of all, we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers. What we're saying is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the longer this goes on. We're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure the people's government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond to the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government in the first place. Thank you all. Caroline.
It's going to target some benefits, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you.
Should
See you
Americans
guys.
prepare for their benefits?
Good morning. Pleased to be joined with Vice Chair Ted Lieu as always. House Democrats stand ready and willing to engage and negotiate to end this shutdown if Republicans are serious about addressing the healthcare crisis that they've created.
We've got two different public philosophies of government on view this week in Washington, D.C. The Democratic caucus in the House, the Democratic caucus in the Senate say the government must be an instrument for the common good of the people. We must meet the needs of the people. And on the other side, we've got a philosophy which says government is an instrument for private self-enrichment and money-making for the guy who gets in and his family. And they've made billions of dollars since this nightmare began in January. We've got to reject that public philosophy. We've got to put these honorable federal workers back to work, and we've got to make the government again in service of the American people.
We have open dialogue all the time, but here's the simple fact. There isn't anything we can do to make this bill any better for them. We literally did not put one single partisan provision in the bill. There's no policy riders, there's no gimmicks and no tricks. Now, we could have done that. I had a lot of colleagues that wanted us to load this up with our priorities, but the leaders decided that we should do this in good faith, simply to buy more time, again, for the appropriations process to work. That's all this is. So there's nothing to negotiate. There's nothing that we can pull out of this bill to make it any leaner or cleaner than it is. It's absolutely sparkling clean, and it's only 24 pages long, okay? We're carrying it around as an exhibit. You've all read it, I hope. Everybody can read this. It's very, very simple.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and our House colleagues. Unfortunately, we are here this morning in a government shutdown the Democrats wanted. Chuck Schumer, at the behest of a bunch of liberal, far-left activist groups, has walked his Democrat colleagues into a boxed canyon. There's no way out, folks. There's no way out. This could have been avoided. It's totally unavoidable. And everybody's now asking the question, how does this end? Well, it ends when the Senate Democrats pick this bill up, passed by the House of Representatives, and vote for it.
In past shutdowns, Democrats have always been the champion of keeping the government open, and that sort of lines up generally with their beliefs about government. Republicans have always been more comfortable with shutdowns, in some ways because they see the federal government as being more wasteful and doing less good things. Both parties have factions that really want to fight here, and the first thing leaders have to do is to demonstrate to those factions that they're fighting. Part of the reason I think we're in this shutdown is because Senator Schumer feels like a portion of his caucus in the Senate, and that is reflective of a portion of Democrats in the country, really just want someone to stand up to Trump and fight. And so demonstrating that fight is going to be stage one of this. And whether that lasts a day, 2 days, 3 days, or 5 days, that will come to an end, and people who just want to fight will be satisfied that you've shown some mettle here. And that sort of loosens up the negotiating room for others who actually want to strike bargaining deals. I don't think on the particular issues, for instance, on the ACA subsidies, that the two parties are actually that far apart. I think there's plenty of Republicans who do want to expand those. And so, you can see ultimately the deal would be something like the Democrats agree to vote to reopen the government, and the Republicans agree sort of just with assurances or a handshake deal that they will negotiate in good faith over those ACA subsidies over the next 6 weeks. And that's the kind of sort of low stakes deal that doesn't involve huge decisions being written in law that you can kind of see easily coming together.
As a citizen, you're just concerned about safety of transportation. Here we are in Washington, D.C. to be able to do things as a tourist. We spend a lot of money to get here, so hopefully we can do all the things we want to do. It's a little bit frustrating in that it seems to happen too often, and it seems like it's just political compromise after political compromise, which puts the American public potentially at risk or without services.
Stressful because you just have all this uncertainty. So I wish they would just get their act together so that we can all do what we do at best at work, which is work and work for the American people, because I do work for the government.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.